Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Thursday night. Of course, let's go up to our friends Hubby Brizzy and speak with the champions up there in Brisbane. Of course, in the Football Queensland Premier League One competition. Of course, that is Brisbane City, and of course they won their grand final at Suncorp Stadium in Lane Park in Brizzy a couple of weeks ago. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and what position did both of you play on grand final day?
So I'm Jess. I played as a six, so like a defensive midfielder role, and have been playing that all season.
I'm Jamila, and I'm normally a centre back. However, was injured on grand final day, so had to spectate from the stands. But the girls did really well and got the job done.
Firstly, playing at Suncorp Stadium for the actual grand final. How cool was it to step out onto the cauldron in one of the best sporting arenas in the country?
Honestly, it was a really awesome experience. Like as soon as we got off the bus into the change rooms, like our pre-match talk, everything was just set up so professionally. And then obviously to like set up it in the tunnel, walk out with the kids, just to a stadium full of a lot more people than we expected was crazy. It was, surreal and an awesome experience.
Yeah, even I wasn't playing, but the pre-match stuff, we all went out on the field and had a look around, and they had photos and things up on the main screen, and we'd had the opportunity to trial it for the World Cup against Lions. So we had a bit of a taste of what it was like, but seeing it properly for us to use was really cool.
Silly question I'm going to ask. When did you feel you were comfortable enough that you had the grand final?
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Like obviously we went through undefeated all year. So we had that expectation every game that we were going to get 3 points and try and win. But Toowoomba, I reckon, probably would have been our toughest opponent all year. That was one of the first games we played against them. It was 0-0 almost, I think, up to half time. Which we weren't used to at that point in time. So once I think we got a couple past them, we kind of relaxed a little bit. But yeah, they were still pretty good and came back and scored against us. But once we had, I think it was 2 or 3, we were like, oh, it was sweet.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't want to go into any of the games complacent. So we definitely still wanted the 3 points and didn't expect it. But yeah, obviously hopeful and still tried at 100%.
When the final whistle blown for the season, there at Suncorp, where was the ball at the time, and was it a relief or celebration?
There wasn't too much of a celebration. I guess everyone was obviously happy, ecstatic, but I think just the season as a whole, like we brought both our under 23s as well, won their final too. So I think just a club as a whole, it was just awesome to experience both squads take the final and the Premiership. So yeah. Humble winnings.
Yeah, I think as well, like touching back to what we said before, because we were so successful this year, staying humble and not disrespecting the opponent in that regard is something that we always tried to keep amongst our squad. So we celebrated, but we weren't over the top with it.
Who got to hold the cup first?
Well, Steph and I did, yeah. We went up on stage and they had, very similar to like a World Cup presentation, they had the big stage and the big banner behind. We went up and got obviously the main one and then the other smaller one that we got to keep as well. So we both had one each.
So how good was it to hold the big one, the bigger cup of the others that you achieved? How good was it to hold that in front of an amazing crowd at Suncorp Stadium before your teammates swarmed onto you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We also had a heap of our fans in terms of like the parents and supporters and the board members from the club that brought along their sons and their daughters. They all had their little Brisbane City flags. I think there was a photo that was posted by Football Queensland as well, of all of us at the end with the 23s team, the under 16 girls. So it was pretty cool, making history for the club, doing the double like that for the women's team.
How good was it to join the 23s as champions?
It was definitely awesome for the club as a whole, because that's obviously as it was our goal, was working towards that. The 23s did amazing all season. I think they only dropped 1 or 2 points here and there, but that squad continued to improve week in, week out, and we borrowed from them occasionally as well. and they still managed to pull through and get the win. So they obviously helped us some of our games too. So yeah, the shared winnings was awesome for the club.
When your teammates swarmed onto you, Jamila, were you worried that you were going to drop the cup, or were you worried that you're going to get crushed?
Probably breaking the cup, because the first one we got for the Premiership, it broke on the bottom before we'd even done anything.
Yeah.
So no, but it was a good vibe. Everyone was just happy. But yeah, I'm just more hoping I wasn't going to break it again.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got to ask this as a follow-up. So what happened the first time you held the cup?
That's on you.
Well, obviously shaking some champagne. We're pouring the champagne inside the cup, and we were drinking it out of the cup at the end. And after everyone was passing it around, like the last little bit, I was shaking it, and the bottom just screwed and just fell off. Aggressively celebrating.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did it hit anyone on the head?
No, we just fell down on the ground, and our coaches were there trying to fix it. It was quite funny, actually. No, we actually can't. We need to fix it.
Hang on, so it's not fixed yet, is it?
Oh, I think it is now.
Hopefully, yeah. I would say so.
Okay. The cup, obviously, not the one that obviously was broken on the day, but the one that you actually ultimately achieved, the bigger one. Did either you get the chance to kiss the cup at any stage? Be honest.
I think,
100%.
Nearly the whole team, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So all of us did get a chance at that.
And how good was it to hold the cup for both of you? Actually, I should ask this to Jess, because I've actually asked Jamila this same question before when she held it for the first time.
No, again, it was awesome. It's a real experience. It was like a really good season for everyone as well. So just a proud moment to stand there and obviously become like the winners, premiers, and all that. So yeah, it was cool.
I've got to ask. I'm sure you got medals on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So how long did both of you wear your medals around your necks for, and did any of you sleep with it? Be honest.
The first one we had the Premiership, so for winning the overall league, we all went out afterwards, so we had it around our neck till whatever time we got home. But I didn't sleep with mine. I took mine off.
Yeah, much the same as the winning medal as well. A few more of us went out again and obviously celebrated and did stay on for quite a while.
So which one's more important? Winning the whole, technically like the regular season games, or is it winning the actual whole thing, including the regular season? Because obviously you won both. You won the minor premiership and obviously the grand final.
I think, me personally, I think winning the premiership is more important, because it means you're the most, I suppose, successful team throughout the whole thing. Yeah, consistent was what I was probably looking for. The most consistent team all season, whereas the grand final is just whoever turns up on the day. Like, you get more adrenaline, and it's a lot more of an exciting game, I suppose, rather than our normal regular season games. But yeah, definitely winning the league feels a lot more satisfying. You've accomplished something that's a lot harder than just winning one game.
I agree. Jamila.
So has the premiership sunk in for both in since it's been like 2-3 weeks since that day?
I think so, yeah. We're looking onto a game we have coming up against the regional champions up in Townsville. So we have that this coming weekend. So we're back at training and working towards hopefully another win this year. But yeah, it's definitely sunk in and moving on to the next, hopefully.
So you don't get much of a break, do you, between your grand final, and obviously you've got to play this original one as well?
Yeah, no, it was 2 weeks off Dave gave us, and then straight back into training for a week leading up to the Champions Cup. Is that what it's called?
Champions League.
Yeah.
Okay. Has your coach Dave put any pressure on the team? Considering I'm assuming obviously heading up to Townsville this week.
I wouldn't say there's any pressure. There's obviously a lot of Well, a lot of pressure on ourselves in terms of probably individual pressure. We want to win. However, he's more like, we'll go up there, we'll enjoy it. There are some players that aren't available for the game. So it'll be a good challenge for us having some of the 23s having to step in and some of our regular starting players not being able to fly up. So, yeah, I think just want to enjoy it. And then after that, enjoy a good off season.
We've had both of you on the show numerous times in the last couple of years, so I'm not going to ask my usual questions I would normally ask all my other guests because I've had both of you on the show before. So, but I will ask this. What have both of you learnt from each other on and off the field? Considering that, obviously, Jess, you were a captain at another club.
Well, I've played with Jamila before as well, back at Lions for a little tiny bit. But I think her confidence both on and off the field, she really portrays like this solid unit at the back, but then she carries that off the field as well. So like really good at like direction, and she's like the voice of everybody too. And people, they will come to her for anything. Yeah, I just think she's the voice of reason, but she can like step in and be like, hey, you need to pick your stuff up when she wants to, and people will respect that. Like she's very respected. So yeah.
No, I'd probably say similar to Jess. Like we've known each other for a long time, played together at Lions. We've both been captains of teams before, and we're both very different captains. So I think learning from Jess, like learning different ways to also be a leader, not just again on the field, but the small things that we do off the field that make a really big difference. So Jess is really good working with like a lot of the younger girls as well and behind the scenes. This year there was a lot of girls that came over from other clubs, and she was really good at kind of being that other in-between person from the players that were also already here. So it was really nice having her as part of the leadership group. Thanks a lot. All good compliments.
I'm assuming both of you would have played against each other between your Lions days and here at Brisbane City. I'm sure it's better to play with each other than against each other. And how have both of you fared when you played against each other?
I don't think I liked him. When Jamila used to play for Palm Beach, I think they were a very aggressive, one of the most disliked teams in the league. But she's a lovely person. So just when you played for Palm Beach.
Yeah, no, definitely like playing with her. Jess is also known as one of the best sixers in and across the league. And whenever you have your team talks, like we'd be talking about, making sure she's shut down, not able to face forward and play the ball. So having her skill set on the team is definitely a lot better than playing against it.
So what does the sport of the world game mean to both of you, and especially being part of Brisbane City?
I don't know how, it's just like life. Like, I don't know there's one word to describe it, but like, I don't know what I could do without it. So it's just like an escape from everything. And it's something that like I look forward to, come to training, going to games, hanging out with the girls and stuff. It's like an escape. Like, yeah, I just think, yeah, it's literally my life, and it always has been. Hopefully always will be.
Yeah, very similar to Jess. Like we've all played since a very young age, and we don't really know any different. We know your training, we know pre-season, you know your games, you're dedicated for X amount of time throughout the year. But one thing I think that stuck with me from junior years to senior is the team you play with and the girls that you get to know and become friends with. Like we have friends group from Lions still that we still catch up with. Like we've created some really good friendships. And they'll last a lifetime, all thanks to football. Brisbane
got a chance to host the Women's World Cup, a couple of games throughout the World Cup campaign. Have you seen any differences in people coming to your games? Now it's been like a month, 2 months since the Women's World Cup, obviously, which the last Matilda's win was up in Brisbane.
Yeah, I think like there's been a lot more interest from our younger players at the club. Like we used to get some of the little young girls coming, but even some of the younger boys now are coming, like grand final day, the amount of kids that were there just waving Brisbane City flags and coming to support us regardless who were the men's team or the women's team. Like that's been a big noticeable difference. And I think just people that aren't even involved with football talking about football. like even at my work, like when the World Cup was going on, there was all this excitement, but even after it, like the Matildas have their Asian Cup qualifiers and the Olympic qualifiers and all those things coming up, and they're all still talking about football, which has been really cool. It wasn't like that before.
No, she'd said it all, honestly.
Every time, yeah, what day was it?
Yeah. Both of you mentioned right at the start what position both of you play on the field. If you had a dream position, we'd love to convince your coaches to put you, wherever that be. Now, I'd love to know if it was very similar to the last time I had both of you on the show.
Straight up top. Get me to score some goals. Yeah. Yeah, both of our positions are quite the opposite. We will pass the ball to the goal scorer. So I think being on the other end would be a pretty cool experience.
Do a Steph Latham and transform into a 9 and be the best striker in the league. That would be a dream.
50+ goal season, I think. Yeah.
What would be your advice to people that should get involved in the world game now, and especially there at Brisbane City next season?
I would say obviously come and try, give it a go. Stick it out. If you don't like it, be there for the social aspect. Like, it's still good to just get out there and run around, kick a ball, have fun with your friends. And yeah, there's always like room for development and growth through the women's side of things, and also men's if you want to play with boys as well. So yeah, just find the sport, which is hopefully soccer, that you love.
More specific to Brisbane City, I think like I've been here since the beginning when we first started the women's program. And now we've got teams all the way from our under-9 girls playing all the way through to women. So now, knowing now that we have really good progression, it would be awesome to come down to such a well-supported club, both on and off the field. Very historic club, and they really believe in the female football aspect, and it's going to continue to grow. So it's very exciting.
We'll finish on a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. Considering it was pretty much a perfect season, so I don't know if this question is going to be any relevant. Who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
Kyle.
You can elaborate on that.
Oh my god. So Kaya Stevenson, that's my name. Yeah. There was a corner. There was a corner for us. She received the ball from a corner, and I don't know what she was doing. I think she was wanting to get it in the box to like get it in the mixer or whatever. And I think she just took one too many touches, and the ball just kind of escaped from her. And she just slowly went further and further down, and just like ended up just falling.
But like slow motion.
Yeah.
And we watched it in our video replay, and it was like, if it was in slow mo, that's how she felt.
Yeah. Like, it was bad. Like, she is like one of the fastest on the team. So for her to do that, yeah, I don't know. It's funny.
It was funny. Yeah.
So is that caught on camera, is it?
Yeah.
All of them are, yeah.
Oh, you've got to tell me after this interview which game it was, so I can watch it back. So who is the comedian, the best singer, and into their TikTok/BeReal?
We were saying this before. We're like, well, who actually would be our comedian / I reckon Ernie, our goalkeeper. Yeah. She's just so funny. We're up for a laugh, but she's also a really good singer. When a banger comes on in the pre-game playlist, you'll like hear her singing. You go, oh, Ernst, you can sing.
Like a One Direction or a Justin Bieber kind of song. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. TikTok would be real. We were thinking about this. I don't know.
We said the BeReal, mainly the 23s are all in and amongst the BeReal kind of stuff.
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah, no one really is into that. That we know of. They might do it behind closed doors, but not in the sheds where we can see.
Yeah.
You?
I don't really TikTok in the town.
Someone's really famous on TikTok.
No. Not in the change rooms, it's outside. Oh, funny.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I don't know if there's really like a superstition. I guess it kind of is. I need to have, last year or the year before, our team all got like stuck on these pre-workout gel things. So I need to have one before the game, and at halftime I need to have like an electrolyte gel. Otherwise, it's like in my head, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to last 90 minutes.
And mine's more so like I'll have to have like Zarappas. I don't know if you guys have Zarappas where you are, but it's like an iced coffee and then a ham and cheese like wrap thing before I play. Like if I don't have it, I feel like I won't have a good game. And just my left foot boot always has to be put on before my right boot. That's really it. Yeah, that is superstition.
Yeah. Finish with this last two. Now, talking about the banner behind you, did anyone get a chance? Did anyone get a chance to sleep with it, or did either of you take it home to sleep with it?
Steph Latham slept with it, can confirm. When we won the Premiership, so before the grand final, we had a night out afterwards, and she had tied it around her neck and rocked up to this bar called Rick's in the Valley, and it was like a cape. And she said she was that tired when she got home, she just fell asleep and woke up sweating. But it's like not a very breathable material. So yeah, Steph has definitely slept in it before.
Have either of you slept in it or used it as a cape? Oh.
Well, we like wrapped it around for photos, but then passed it on afterwards.
Definitely no sleeping with it.
And we'll finish with this last one. So how was the celebrations like?
Fun. Yeah. We're very lucky here at the club. They put on heaps of drinks, like flowing drinks, whole night, playing some games together, had like our coaches involved, music was pumping, all this here at the club. Really good vibe. It was good times.
No, that's
the punchline. Jamila said it.
She's got it.
Both of you, thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us. Congratulations on winning, well, obviously for your club in particular, a clean sweep on the women's side of things. Obviously winning this one for yourselves and obviously the 23s as well. Well done, congratulations. And hopefully next year when you hopefully go up to NPL, hopefully we'll be talking about a premiership again out there at Brisbane City, and hopefully ruin a couple of the teams who won it this year.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice to catch up again.
Yes. And of course, that is our favourite Brisbane City players there, Oliver, Jamila and Jess. They're joining us from the Brisbane City, of course, women's football team who won the, of course, Football Queensland Premier League won women's competition. And of course, as they mentioned, also the 23s also clean swept as well. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this day go away here on the 10th year celebration.